everybody, and welcome back for this week's AK Theorem Advice Show. Thank you for being here. I am AK, and this is the show where you, the people, send in your questions to me, AK, and I give an answer. I always love feedback, so please do make sure you comment and like if I say something that hits home with you, and also make sure that you go over to the sister show and like our page so you can see all of our events happening every week. So let's get started. This week I have five questions for you, for me to answer for you. And let's get rolling. Okay, question number 1 for this week. I know I need to work out, but I just don't have any energy. What do you do? What do you focus on, to keep you going? I myself know when I need a push from somebody else. So, for example, I just started working with a trainer again that I've worked with in the past, and he's really awesome. And I was like, look, I'm not getting myself going. So I know that I'm the type of personality that needs a little bit of a kick sometimes, and so I know exactly who is good at doing that, and that's Freddie. So I signed back up with Freddie, and I'm getting going again. But the main thing is being consistent. So what he's done for me is given me little bits of just things to work on, small bites to be consistent. Um, and honestly, that has happened with pretty much every trainer I've ever worked with. It's consistency is the key. Um, so keep track of what you're doing on a daily basis. Are you getting up and moving around? Are you drinking liquids? You're drinking your water. Are you getting enough rest? Are you taking time to calm yourself, meditate, or whatever the case is, so you can de-stress? Um, because that all stays jumbled up in our minds. So we got to learn how to relax, focus on your consistency, get up and move around. We know what not to eat. We know that processed foods are not the best options for us. So consistently choosing healthier options is already going to put you ahead of the game. So focus on what you can be realistically consistent with that will turn into a good long-term habit. So choosing better foods, making sure you're getting better rest, drinking enough water every day, being active every day, deliberate activity every day. Just get started, even if it's 5 minutes to start, and then build on from there. Okay, question number 2. I think my daughter is having sex for the first time. How do I approach the situation without alienating her and letting her know I'm not judging? I just want her to be safe and to be there for her. With the alienating portion of the question, I'm feeling like that you might feel like you might get too upset and maybe put shame on her for being ready, feeling that she's ready to have sex or being ready to have sex. Um, who does your daughter know you as? What kind of personality are you with her? Are you a hard ass? If you are a hard ass and you know she doesn't respond well to that, then how can you approach her in a gentler, caring way that she won't be like, what is wrong with you? If it's super out of character. If she knows you as somebody that has a sense of humor and you are already open about sex, that it is something that occurs in the human condition. It's part of the human condition. We have sex. We want to be intimate with the people that we are attracted to. Um, have fun with it. Get her a little gift bag of condoms or whatever else you want to throw in there, and break the ice that way. There's somebody in the situation is going to feel embarrassed at some level, either you saying, "Hey, I I think you're having sex and I really want you to be safe," like understanding what can happen when you have sex. The importance of using protection. Um, the importance of being safe. Like, yes, there might be that thrill out there of having sex in the car, but that's not necessarily always the safest place. Um, so, like, would you seriously be okay with your child having sex in your house while you're there? Like, legitimately, think about that. Or are they going to have to hide um, in order to be intimate with the person that they're with? I'm not saying I'm not choosing for you. I'm not, saying that you need to do this, that, or the other. But what is your comfort level? What is your belief system? That's all really going to form your conversation with them. Not wanting to alienate them means that you do not want to shame them because sex is something that happens. It's going to happen whether we want it to or not, whether we're ready to or not. We don't own our kids. We just get to be with them and hopefully guide them the best that we can while they're young and while they're minors and they do need to be cared for. Um, so they're gonna be who they are, and if your daughter knows that she can come to you and talk to you, then the conversation it won't be it won't be terrible. But you just have to start the conversation. It's there's no easy way to do it other than just doing it, just starting the conversation, saying, "Hey, are you having sex? Are you thinking about having sex? um, what do you know about it, about protection? Do you have protection?" Or like I said, if they know that you have a little bit of a sense of humor, give them a gift. And then they're prepared. There's also a documentary I watched a long time ago on Netflix, which I know there's a big thing with Netflix right now, but anyway, the documentary is called Let's Talk About Sex. And what they did is they talked to kids in other countries and about how they feel about sex or sexuality and in the US and how we view it. And they were very, very different. Like one of the examples I'll use, and I know I'm spending a lot of time on this question, but one of the examples they use is they asked some young female high schoolers in the US, what would you say if you heard, or what would you think if you heard one of your friends, your female friends, was carrying around a condom in their backpack? And it was, oh, that she's promiscuous, or she's a slut, or she's this or that. Um, and then they asked some of the girls in the UK and other European countries, um, that British and European countries. Sorry, I just messed that up. Sorry. That what would you say? Back to the point. What would you say if your friend if she had a condom with her in her backpack? And they said that she's prepared. She's because we can't necessarily expect that the guy always has, your boyfriend or whatever. Whomever you're going to have sex with has a condom, but you want to be prepared because you don't want to get pregnant at a young age, um, because you may have other things that you want to do in your life at that time, you know, traveling, just whatever the case is. I'm going off on a tangent. Um, Start the conversation, have fun with it. um it's not because it's not going to be it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for everybody involved. I mean, it's parent and kid, come on. Yeah, just start the conversation. I feel like I totally butchered that question and I went too way too long-winded, but that's okay. um Question number 3. I am so stressed out with all this election stuff. I know as an American I should be involved, but I really think it brings out the worst in people. What do you think? I think as an American you should vote, and that's you doing your own homework forming your own opinion based on the research that you've done on who you're voting for and why you're voting for them. Whether it be president, it be the judges that they say that they should stay on the bench, or whoever is in whatever appointed um, position. Now, as far as you should be involved, other than going to the poll or sending in your ballot, you don't have to be involved in any other conversation about it, because there is a slew of things on social media and everywhere of this person did this, whatever, and people giving their opinion, and the bashing and the negativity. You really do not have to engage in that level of it. If you know that it is really stressful to you to see that kind of stuff, stay off of social media for a little while. Limit yourself to it. If there are folks on your feed that are posting very heavily about political stuff and it is bothering you, hide their posts for a week or two, or whatever, snooze their posts. Um, Other than you forming your own opinion and you going and voting yourself, you really do not have to participate in all the election stuff. The biggest thing is too, and I've seen it in many different memes and billboards or whatever you call them. We can have differing opinions, but just because our opinions and beliefs are different doesn't mean that we have to hate each other. So that's going to be probably the biggest part of it. I mean, you don't have to engage in it. And just because somebody doesn't believe the same as you doesn't mean that they're wrong or they're bad. They just believe differently um, on this election stuff. Okay. So that is all I'm going to say about that. You've got to protect yourself from it, but vote. Okay. Question number 4. I have a dog that barks incessantly. What can I do? I hate to leave the house anymore. Well, we have to leave the house. Well, maybe not during COVID time. We might all be getting to work from home. So, I mean, I think dogs everywhere are really loving COVID. And I've definitely seen a lot of posts on Facebook about that the dogs are just, and the pets are just loving it. Well, maybe not the cats. I've seen some opposites for cats. They're like, God, what are they doing here? Get out of my space. Pretty funny. Anyway, firstly, what kind of dog do you have? Have you read up on the personality of your dog, the common traits of your particular dog? Um, are they a high anxiety dog? Have you tried, leaving a radio on, leaving a TV on? Does your dog need, does the dog need a companion? Um, Also, is the dog getting enough exercise? It really just depends on the personality of your dog. Um, on what course of action to take next. Um, and absolutely, absolutely training. Training. Take your dog to obedience training. Um, and that is also how you're going to handle your training is going to depend on the type of dog that you have, because they have their own personalities, they have their own traits. I had a lab husky, and he was so smart, and he was so restless but so lazy at the same time. He would see where you were walking and he would like look ahead, he'd walk ahead of you and then lay down in the doorway and just like, okay, love me, and just want to lay right there. And then, but if you leave him alone for a little while out in the backyard, he would break through a fence. It didn't matter what kind of fence, he would either chew through it, jump over it, climb underneath it. It just, so in order to keep him safe while I was at work, I got him a police grade dog run. So he had an outside area to run, and then he had a space that was safe from the elements. And while I was at work, he had that space, but he was safe. And if So that's what I had to do for him. But it was very important to make sure he got out on walks, and we worked off some of that energy because that's really what it was a lot of time. He'd get so bored if he was outside, like, okay, nobody's here to pet me. And then he'd be like, okay, I'm going to take myself on a walk. So it's just something I had to learn about his personality, but also he can't be out on a walk by himself. He just can't. It's not safe for them. So learn the personality of your dog, get them into some training, and see if maybe they just need the TV on and they'll chill out. But you got to be able to leave your house, and yeah, yeah, get you guys some training, but learn about your dog's personality. Okay, question number 5. Oh man, it's a dating one. How long should I wait to text this new guy I went on a date with? Or should he text me? Or is that even a thing anymore? I'm sure it's a thing. Um, it's sounds like a game. Um, I would say if you want to text somebody and say you had a nice time, why can't you just text them and that you had a nice time? Now, I guess the biggest thing I would say is if you text them and say that you had a nice time and they don't respond back right away, are you going to get upset? Okay, it's sort of the what's the expectation of communication? How often do you have to be talking all the time? If you know they're busy the next day and they don't text, find something to do, keep your own self busy. This one's a really tough one for me. I'm not the best at this kind of stuff. Um, because I don't pick up well on this kind of stuff. Like if I think something, was a fun time, be like, "Hey, that was really great. That was a really great dinner. That was a really great meetup or whatever. I had a great time." And then leave it at that. But it's really the how are you going to feel if they don't respond back right away? That might be something to look at in yourself. Um, initially. But if it starts to turn into a ghosting type of situation where you just don't hear from them and like look at a pattern more of like convenience. Do they message you when it's more convenient for them? And I mean, in all, that's going to mean that they're not really ready for a relationship, either in general or maybe with you. There is a guy that I like listening to. His name is Matthew Hussey, and he gives a lot of good advice on just text messaging and dating, and what a guy means when he says this in a text, whatever. Anyway, so it's interesting to listen to, and I listen to that because I don't know, I feel kind of oblivious sometimes. But ghosting seems to be a really really big thing now, in both directions. So if you want to say it, but if they don't respond back, I mean, and that's just in general, like with our friends, because they might be busy. Are we going to get all bent out of shape about it? Or is it just something they do all the time? And that's, especially if it's a friend that we have. Anyway, so if you had a nice time on a date, let them know. Don't get bent out of shape if they don't text you back right away. And now if you don't hear from them for a week, I mean, if you're not interested, just tell me you're not interested. But alrighty, folks, that was 5 questions for this week. Our time is up. I love feedback. Please give me feedback. Also, please send me your questions if you'd like me to answer them. I can be reached at aktheorem@gmail.com. I can be reached here on Facebook with The Sister Show, and also AK Theorem on Facebook as well. So thank you very much for tuning in. I hope some of what I had to say was helpful, and I can't wait to see you next week. Oh, also have a wonderful, wonderful Halloween, and I hope everybody has their costumes picked out and are ready to have some fun. Okay, take care of yourselves. Bye.